welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Angie and I live in Japan. I asked you guys on Instagram if you have any questions about life in Japan, and I got a whole bunch of questions, so I have them right here. I'm gonna go through them and just answer. It's obvious. I'm sitting right next to my window for sunlight, even though there's no sun. It's like super cloudy today. But if you hear anything weird, don't mind it. There's a house right there. I could like take out my hand and probably touch the building next door. I always hear my neighbor every single day. Windows closed, can still hear him. Even like my roommates can hear him. So actually, if you're new to my channel, and my name is Angie. I've been living in Japan, in Tokyo, Japan for 1 year and 5 months. 1 year and 5 months. Soon 5 months. Yeah, like a couple days. 1 year and 5 months. I moved here to study Japanese and like go to school, and I graduated Japanese language school and I'm starting university in like 2 weeks. If you want to see Japan content and life in Japan type of stuff, you should subscribe. And you know what you should also do? Check out my Instagram at AngiesTTV, and you can also check out my TikTok. I post a lot on TikTok, more than YouTube. I didn't post on here for like a year, so hopefully I like stay consistent with it. The more of you guys that join, the more I'll do this, so hopefully I can just find the motivation for it. My TikTok is at angiest.png. Yeah, follow me on there if you want. If not, it's cool. You can subscribe here to YouTube. I'll appreciate it. You should also like this video. Okay, anyways, to the questions. What are your favorite spots to hang out? I live in Tokyo. My favorite spots to hang out here, a lot of, people, every time I meet new people, they always ask me this question. I don't really know what to answer because I love to go outside. I love to go on walks. I love to go to parks, and I love to like explore new places. I'm super extroverted. So, I don't know, I would say like, if you hear that sound, that's my door. That door right there. It's the wind. It's not even that windy. It's pretty hot today. And the main spots, I guess you could say, like Shibuya. I like Shinokubo a lot for the food. It's really fun to go with friends. It's just because like we know a really good like eating and drinking spot. My video, I think it was like 2 videos ago before this one. We went to Shinokubo and we went to my favorite spot. It's called like Cha-Cha 75 or 75 Cha-Cha, something like that. Recommend that place in Shinokubo. It's Koreatown. And then Shibuya is just kind of like a place to hang out with friends as well. Shibuya has this park called Miyashita Park, and it's like a mall, and the top part is a park, and there's like a Starbucks and there's a skate park, and it's just like a cool spot to just either hang out with your friends or just hang out by yourself. Like you could sit there and get yourself some McDonald's or some Taco Bell, because that mall has Taco Bell. And Panda Express, and you could just sit up there, chill, read a book. I've done that before. It's really nice. You can see the train, you can see the JR Yamanote line from there. It's just a really nice area. It just kind of like depends like what you want to do here in like Tokyo, for example, like, or the kind of person that you're like, what you like to do. Tokyo has everything. Like if you want to do like cultural stuff and like eat traditional food, like Asakusa is a great place. I have like recommendations in Kyoto. I love Kyoto. If I could like live in another city, it would be in Kyoto. So if you guys want to know about Kyoto and like spots in Kyoto, let me know. I'll make a whole separate video about that because I love Kyoto. If you like thrifting and you're super into thrift shopping, Shimokitazawa and Koenji are really good places. Shimokitazawa is like very hipster, trendy, cute cafes, a lot of thrift stores, most of them being expensive. Like you really need to know where the good spots are. And then Koenji is just kind of like a different vibe. What's something overhyped about Tokyo? Disneyland. Disneyland, definitely overhyped. I lived in Florida for 5 years and I got to go to Disney World, and nothing compares to Disney World. Disneyland here is super tiny. It was cute, it was fun. I feel like tickets are like almost the same price. If not, it's more expensive in Tokyo. Also, Shinjuku. Shinjuku overhyped. Shinjuku grimy. Kind of dangerous. Definitely an experience, but pretty grimy. Shinjuku overhyped. Okay, this is a really good question. Have you heard of different methods of living there that's not school or teaching English? Getting a different job that's not teaching English. I mean, truthfully, it's very difficult from my experience and from what I've heard from other people, but teaching English is not like the only way to work in Japan. But like the tech industry, for example, is a great industry if like you've studied anything tech, like programming or data science, any of that. You could potentially find a job over here in Japan. You just have to look for them. And some companies like Mercari, for example, I have a friend of mine, by the way, really good friend of mine, Julia. She also has a YouTube channel, go check her out. Her husband works in the tech field, and the reason they live in Japan is because he applied for a position and got the job, and the company paid for everything. If you guys have ever heard of Mercari, check them out. A lot of my friends that have jobs here that aren't teaching English, they like speak really good Japanese, or they came to school and then worked. So definitely it's a tricky situation. Like a lot of influencers, like if you have a following, if you're big on the interwebs, that's a whole separate like visa situation. And also you will need a bachelor's degree to find a job over here. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, like me, I have an associate's degree, you most likely won't be able to get a job, especially if you're abroad. Like it's easier once you're here, because the visa switching situation is easier for companies, and I don't know, it's just from what my experience, it's just better like that rather than from like abroad. I've seen a lot of companies are like, you have to be in Japan. It says in the description that you have to be in Japan, not in abroad, because they're not going to help with that entire situation. Any experiences on looking for jobs outside of the JET program? Kind of, you know, same answer as I gave before. I don't know much about the JET program. That's not about Japan, but how old are you? My birthday is April 2nd, 1997, so I'm 25 years old. I just turned 25. You can still get me late birthday wishes. You plan living there for how long? I don't know. Every time I meet Japanese people, they're like, oh, so how long are you gonna be here? Like, how many years you got left? I don't know. I don't know. I came here to study. I don't know how to answer the question because it's really hard to stay here. Like, even if I just graduated like school and I just want to stay in Japan, I can't do that. I have to look for a job that'll sponsor my visa. Yeah, maybe I could potentially find a job that'll sponsor my visa, but is it going to be a job that I want to do? Also, salary in Japan is like really bad. And like, it all depends where life takes me. If I find a good job, then I'll stay here. If not, then I'll probably go somewhere else. Probably not America, but who knows? Like I said, I don't know where life will take me. Is it fun? Yes. I love living here. I feel like when I graduated high school, you know, everyone advertises their college life to be like, oh, it's supposed to be so fun and blah, 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 blah. Your college year is the best of your life. And I feel like I didn't have that experience. I was studying all the time. I like lived in a really strict household. And my college life was just kind of like all over the place. But I just got my associates and then just kind of like worked for a little bit, and that's how I saved up to come here. So now that I'm here, I feel like I've had that more of a like college life experience, and it's just been so much fun. Tokyo, to me personally, has been so much fun. I've met so many amazing people. Like, I have one of my best friends, like we live together, Samantha. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, like you will know we're always together. And she's not home right now. If not, she would have been like, yes! But yeah, it's so fun here. Like, I'm always trying new foods. I'm always meeting new people. Like, I feel that I've become more of a social person. When me and my friends go out at night, I'll always meet new people, or like always talk to Japanese people. And it's always fun and exciting to meet new people and have conversations with like strangers, even if like we don't talk in the long run. Good question. Have you ever dated a Japanese? If yes, what surprised you? What I have to say about dating Japanese people is that most Japanese people are shy. Always ask me this, like, oh, like what's different about Japanese people, or like Japanese men? I'm just, you know, I'm like, like Nihonjin hazukashigariya, which means like they're shy. From my experience so far, that's how it's kind of been with everyone. And when someone's shy, the experience is just kind of like boring. If people wonder about like splitting the bill or like the man pays, like from my experience, most of the time there has been a splitting the bill situation. My experience, when I've been on dates with like salary men, what they call here, is, you know, full-time people that work on a salary. They work the typical 9-to-5 slave job here in Japan. Those people would pay for the bill. Also, most of the time, Japanese men will view you, since you're a foreigner, they're like, oh, foreigners are easier. So they try to go home with you or try to take you to a love hotel. Those are very interesting here in Japan. Is it true that Japanese guys don't date women over 30 years old? I've heard of this a lot. I haven't really seen it very much. But, like, I have a friend who's in her 30s and her boyfriend is in her 20s. And I mean, in his 20s. In my experience, I like haven't really seen that too much, but I hear that a lot from like women. Like, oh, once you get to your 30s, like men don't really want to like date you. They want younger women, which is kind of like cool. Anyways. That's so loud. Oh my god. What is the most annoying thing about living in Japan? Whole being a foreigner thing over here, like the foreigner thing. When I first came to Japan, I needed to open a bank account. To open an account for a foreigner is JP Post, and there's another one, I can't remember, my friend has it. Open a bank account and she's like, okay, you're gonna receive your debit card in the mail, and I was like, that's weird because we don't get debit cards. You're not allowed to get a debit card unless you've been in Japan for 6 months already. What you get is a cash card. So I was surprised that she was like, oh, you're gonna get a debit card. I didn't get a debit card. When I got it in the mail, it was a cash card. Because you're a foreigner, you're not allowed to get a card for like, unless you've been in Japan for 6 months. And I went to go get the SIM card for my current phone plan, which if you guys want a video on that, I feel like that's really important for people that are interested in living in Japan. I have a company called UQ Mobile. I don't know how it works for other companies, but UQ Mobile, I applied whatever. It was pretty simple. It took super long, but once we kind of like finished everything, they were like, okay, we just have to wait for you to get approved. And the guy himself, he was a foreigner, he was Vietnamese. This is a process that only foreigners have to go through, because if you were Japanese, you would get approved right away. But because you're a foreigner, they have to review your application and see if they would approve you for a SIM card. So he was like, you could go walk around and like come back. I don't know how long it's gonna take. So I waited around for like 2 hours waiting to get approved, and luckily I did. If I didn't, job applications, super outdated. It's called Direction, and there's a template for that. You know, in America, you could make your resume, this is like more common to make it like really creative and cute however you want. Here in Japan, it's not like that. There's a specific format to it. And on top of that, you need to have a professional photo of yourself on there, like a passport photo. But you wear like, you know, your little white shirt with like a black blazer. You have to look like professional. And you have to put all of your information, like your name, your date of birth, your address. Here, let me reference mine to make sure I get all the details in here so you guys can understand how complicated this is. So you have that, you have your gender, you have your phone number, your email, which is normal, then you have your address, and then you have to put information about your school. And by that, it means like your middle school, high school, college, like all of that. You also have to put how long it takes you to get to work. So let's say you live like 40 minutes away from like the cafe that you're applying at. You have to put that it takes you 40 minutes on your resume. So basically you need to tailor your resume, your direction, to every job you apply. You have to change that. Any tips on applying to colleges and college life overall? How do I break this down? I feel like this is so important. I feel that when I came to Japan, I just wanted to like go over there and like study, but I didn't plan anything. I just kind of like went along, which I know a lot of people want to do that. They're like, I'll go and like figure it along. But if you want to study, if that's like in your mind that you want to study, figure it out before coming to Japan. Why? Because university and college, whatever you call it in your country, in America we have college and we have university, kind of like the same, but it's so different here in Japan. In America, you can basically like apply whenever. Sometimes there are like specific times that you apply for like specific programs, but to the school itself, you can apply whenever. In Japan, they only have terms in September and in April. Sometimes they only have terms either in September or in April instead of both of them. So that can really fuck you over in terms of a student visa. So you come to Japan, you want to go to Japanese language school because let's say you want to go to a Japanese university and study in Japanese. It's different when it's in English. So let's say you want to study in Japanese. If you want to go to Japanese university, you at least need like N2, which is the JLPT. If you're not sure what the JLPT is, you should research it. It's a language proficiency test, and it's what they use over here. But to go to university, you have to take the EJU, which I'm not sure what the EJU stands for, but basically language proficiency test in Japanese to get into university, specific one for university. So say you do language school for 1 year, you have to study a lot if you want to go into university because Japanese is really difficult. And then you finish in January. School that you applied to and got accepted into, let's say, doesn't start till April. Visa ends in February. You're kind of fucked. Possible that you can get a visa extension. Not sure how that really works. With COVID, it's been completely different, so I'm not sure how much everything has changed. But anyways, I start school in weeks. Another thing is that look for what school you want to apply to. If it's a Japanese program or an English program, just make sure you plan ahead and make sure you have documents with you, like before coming to Japan. Like they'll ask for like your SAT scores and stuff like that. Might need like your diploma, your college diploma or high school diploma. School that I applied to, Tsukuba Daigaku, even though I was going to like transfer my credits because they do take transfers. That's another thing. A lot of schools here do not take transfers. So if you're gonna start from point zero to get a bachelor's, cool. If you've already done 2 years like I did, you're not gonna have a good time. If you're gonna get a master's, easier. Okay, you have your bachelor's, you can just, go to your master's. But if I was in a weird gap where I could not find any schools that will take transfers, so that was really frustrating. But Tsukuba takes transfers. But even though they take transfers, they were still asking for my SAT scores, and they were asking for like my high school diploma, my credits from high school, all of that stuff. How do you date/meet new people in Japan? Really just put yourself out there. Going out to bars with either by yourself or with friends and try to spark up a conversation with someone, or if you're a woman, you probably just need to sit there and wait. But talking to girls is like super easy. I feel like it's really easy to meet people, but maybe they won't be like your friends in the long run. But to like meet new people and like talk to people for like a night, maybe hang out one time, I feel like it's fairly easy here in Japan. Like people typically aren't social, but if you go to like a bar situation, it's easier for people to just like loosen up and like be social. Also, dating apps, if you guys are into that, you can, Bumble has Bumble BFF. I have a friend that like met a couple people doing Bumble BFF. I made a good friend through Bumble, and we've like go out to eat and we went to Disney together. There's also Hello Talk. I've never used it, but my friend, when she first came here, she met several people on Hello Talk, and my other friend is now using Hello Talk and meeting people. So that's definitely another way to meet people and maybe make friends. Anyways, that's all I'm going to answer for this video. If you guys have any other questions, you can comment down below. If you want to know more stuff about Japan, you can also comment down below for that. If you want to know more things about Japan, you can also comment down below for that. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video because, boosting the video would definitely help me, and I would really appreciate it. And yeah, if you made it all the way over here, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!